Hello everyone and welcome back to the Ironside cast. With me Matt. We're happy to be all here on Kreuzung Dorf. It's on the eastern front. Let's go through the Soviets first. We have Theo without a commander choice. And we have Alphas Gitari also without a command choice. They'll probably pick something here shortly. Represent the Axis today. We got a ranged Karma as the Wehrmacht with Ostdivisions at the gate. Very fitting for the eastern front. And we have Smokey as Sturmtaktics for the Waffen-SS. Let's see if they can hold on the line here against the oncoming Soviets. Soviets move to try and secure ground on their road to Berlin. Or well, on their march to Berlin, rather. Because they're both going for not any conscripts today. Double sappers and Fontaviki. Oh, a little bit of lag. That's unfortunate. That was weird. I don't think I've ever witnessed a lag before in a replay like that. That was very weird. We also have a command chest here for Alpha Skitari. It is Tank Destroyer. Nothing yet from Theo. Several Osttruppen come onto the field here. Lots of Osttruppen actually. Lots of Eastern Europeans conscripted to fight for the Nazis. On the Eastern Front, but also on the Western Front. Trying to hold this little village here. We also have some Wallonians coming up here. Made of people from the Netherlands and Belgium, I believe. Volunteers for the Waffen-SS. Also, I believe some Spanish fascists were part of it. At least at this point in the war. Also, the Sturmpioneer's got a good position there in the building. It's going to force the sappers back. Sappers could mow down that field. Once we get out somewhat pinned down behind this hay here, I'm going to provide them enough cover. More Fonzaviki coming up though. Lots of Fonzaviki here. But the Sturmpioneers do have a good position. But the Soviets are also getting forced on here. Just lots of sappers. We do have some more Fonzaviki arriving as well. We'll soon encounter the Osttruppen here. These shots are starting to be fired. Lots of Osttruppen. What? Osttruppen? That's a lot of Eastern Europeans. Companies are slowly taking losses, but they are holding back these Fonzaviki quite well. It's also giving the Sturm Grenadiers time to just wait and allow the Sturm Brigade to capture ground behind. The Sturmpioneers might have to consider getting out of there soon. Osttruppen now will run this position of sappers. They're slowly pushing back the Soviets bit by bit. Their Kar-98s, they don't get any submachine gun for their squad leaders, so they are somewhat vulnerable in medium to close range if the enemy has something like that. But they are just basic bolt actions, and bolt actions are pretty competent at long range. Just force the sappers to move around. It's just the sheer amount of rifles here. We have 5 Osttruppen squads. That is a lot of Osttruppen. Axel is quickly trying to turn around here. Will it be fast enough? Probably not. They do get the egg grenade off. And that was actually a pretty good egg grenade. That's going to force that Maxim back. And the sappers going here, but they're going to encounter some Storm Grenadier. Guess the Waffen-SS is relying a lot on foreign troops today. I guess most of the Germans are already dead. Maxim is doing his best to try and get shots in here in the building, but the Germans are still holding up here alongside their Wallonian troops. Well, the Germans and Osttruppen are pushing up down here. Counting more Fonzaviki and the Maxim ready again. I think that's the second Maxim. But it is out in the open there. It's laying down a lot of fire. But you're something pretty good entrenched infantry. If they're behind cover or in buildings, they generally do pretty well at long range, to be honest. They can just hold the line for a while. I think that's because they consider static infantry, and static infantry is generally pretty good at trenches and trench networks or in cover positions. They're not intended to assault positions, they're intended to just hold ground. And well, remain static, as the name implies. As you can see, they get suppressed out in the open pretty quickly. Fonzaviki here, but that's an MG34 in the church. Germans are gonna make it very difficult for the Soviets to get past this little village. You also have an MG30 here on the Storm Grenadiers. Unique to upgrade them if you're playing a Sturm. Essentially, it's a very low amount of ammunition machine gun they can fire on the move. How many bullets is it? 30 rounds? They can only fire 30 rounds out of that thing? Wow. Yeah, you have to reload that thing frequently. Double Maxim now, laying firepower down on these pioneers. We also have an MG42 coming up here, manned by some Germans. Trying to get into position behind this tractor. Looks like it will work out. That's going to lay down quite a lot of fire on those Maxims. The Maxims are trying to pull back. Maybe this thing what's about to happen. Oh, yeah. The MG42 threats. A grenade there. Doesn't do much. Well, the Soviets have slowly pushed back the Germans up here by the looks of it. And some PPSA just hand out to some Fonzaviki. Looks like I lost a little bit of action there. But the Waffen is sending troops up to counteract. Equipment with some MG30s, or a MG30. So they're digging everything out of the warehouses they can get at this point in the war. But those are PPSA just... Oh, the Germans have demo charged the building. Ooh, they could activate it here, but I think they're waiting for the Soviets to get inside the building. MG30 now handed out. I didn't know they had actually booby-trapped the building. That's actually pretty smart. Just need to time it right whenever they activate it. I think the MG30 arms Sturmgrenadier should be able to fight this fight. We have a fight in the town here between the church and the Fontaviki, but they have to pull out. Well, it's not looking good for the Soviets on the southern flank. The Ostruppler are doing a good job holding down the line. But the Soviets took control of the northern farm here. Will certainly hinder their movement. We do have a half-track coming out. Looks like it's going to be a crowd mower, a meat grinder. A meat grinder for both of them, actually. Still no Comanches, though, from Theo. And the Rage Karma is like, yeah, it's probably very jarring to play this instead of coming here as free. I can imagine that. Yeah, it's different games. I just hope that the Spearhead mod for Company of Heroes 3 becomes very good soon. There's a lack of players in Company of Heroes 3 at the moment, and I haven't really had the time. And yeah, that MG30 being very useful because you can fight on the move. Gets you to target down the Maximum Squad, and they will be able to do that, I think. Yep, there you go. But here's the meat grinder. That squad has to get out of that. Malone's assaulting the conscripts with an instant grenades. But he needs to be cautious because they know the meat grinder is coming. You guys should stay still when it's firing though. When it's on the move, it's very inaccurate. Doesn't have suspension. Or they're trying to lure it into the demo trap, I think. Oh, was that enough? Oh, it was close though. Until he gets into flank. And again, can I get a shot off? It'll be very risky. Oh! They got it though. Very brave. The Soviets are continuing their slow assault down here. Concrete pillboxes are being set up here by the Ostruppen. We also have a pack here. Pack 38. Or farm building here. There it goes. Germans did do a lot of scorched earth on their own territory in the east as they pulled back. Much like the Soviets did during Operation Barbarossa, but pretty devastating stuff. The war was horrible, as you'd imagine. World War II was really horrible. War in general is horrible. Don't support war. You can only hope for peace in our time, especially after the mess Russia has done in Ukraine. That fucking invasion is just such a waste of time. Why do people have to die because of it? I really hope the Ukrainians manage to beat them out. It's the only thing we can hope for. Well, the Germans are trying to push up here. Soviets are still holding the ground. We do have a Valentine tank coming up here. Lend-lease from the United Kingdom. The Soviets became very fond of it. It's an aggressive recon tank. It has to be cautious here. Is there any Panzerfaust on? Nope, they don't have Panzerfausts. So the Valentine is somewhat safe here. Its anti-tank rifle grenades cannot pierce it. Use your Panzer Strike being handed out to the Panzerjägers. Yeah, I don't think that the infantry is gonna last long. It has to get out of there. This is going on. The Soviets have secured the southern flank here somewhat. But the pillbox too, probably before I can even set up. Grant's doing a good job, but the pack fighter is trying to get a shot in. But there's terrain in the way, so it's not going to be able to hit. Explosive loaded here by the Valentine. There's some Siberian troops being called in soon. That's going to be cool. Well, the Siberians look the best in winter, I'd say. Because then they have the completely pure white uniforms. Looks really cool. And the ruined farm they're still fighting over. Oh, they've gone for shock. Theo has gone for shock army. So we do see some shock for Tseviki called in here armed with a PBSH and some SVTs. Soviet semi-automatic rifle that was originally designed to be the AVT, a fully automatic battle rifle, but I think the recoil was too much, so they forced it to be a semi-automatic rifle instead. Hence it's called SVT instead. But I think apart from that, the rifle is basically identical. Even the Siberians, be equipped with some more late war stuff like the SKS, a late war semi-automatic rifle. We've also used it in the Vietnam War afterwards. I remember using the SKS in Rising Storm Vietnam. The pack variant is being hit by the Max up. MD-42 is trying to lay down some covering fire. Like it's succeeding for now. There's double Maxim now pointed at it. And despite being an MD-42, double Maxims is a lot of bullets coming your way. And the heavy cover's not holding up here. They're just pinned down. They're not taking many losses yet, but they cannot really do much. And they're kind of stuck there. Fort HQ set up here by the Germans. Mortar coming in here for the Siberians. More Cis guns arriving here for the shock army. Valentine doing a decent job up here. There's a lack of AT equipment apart from the Panzerjägers. Oh, a little bit of lag again. That's awkward. Would everyone try and go for it for a rocket? Around you like that, that's a risky move. Yeah, they get pinned quickly. Yeah, that Maxim really prevents the rockets from going up. We do have a patch strike here on the Storm Pioneers as well. They're gonna go for it. Go inside the building, actually. It would technically be possible to fire. You're not actually supposed to be able to fire a patch strike from inside an enclosed position. As the backblast would, you know, kill the rest of the squad. Of course, that's very hard to model in, I imagine. Molotov on the building. That's going to force the Germans back briefly. They're still holding the points, which is the most important part. The fighting continues down here as well. Building is on fire, so the Germans are going to lose this forward headquarters soon. Most of them being completely pinned. They do get pinned pretty fast. They're not high quality infantry. This gun is now opening fire as well. Now the Ostrom now providing a good distraction. Ostrom is gonna try and go for a grenade. If that be focused down, they do manage to get the grenade off. Doesn't do anything. It hit the front of the tractor there. Ostrom are gonna try and go for it. Being behind cover. It bought time for the other squads to get out of being pinned. Nazi managed to kill the crew. Panzer IV F1 arriving here for the Ostdivision. Panzer IV-J arriving here for the storm tactics. The Soviets keep digging in up there. All the headquarters being established here for the Soviet Union. In this barn-like structure. Not sure what kind of structure it is, but I imagine it's a barn. Most of them pushing forwards. Doctor was going to try and hold them back. Grenades being used here on the Cis. We do manage to clear out the Cis crew, but the Soviets get this reinforced and then get a new one. Ostrom, they're kind of suffering. There's almost none of them left. I guess they running out of their reserve infantry from their conscripted countries. Oh, well, their occupied countries, rather, I think is the word. Panzer 4J pushing forwards up here. Using high explosive rounds, which is unique to Sturm, I think, for this one. But, like, you have a Panzer 4 that just fires high explosives. At least if I remember correctly. No, this one is firing a normal AP. It's someone else that gets the high explosive one. I think that's actually liked it for Wehrmacht. Yeah, it's not Erfurt. It's not Sturm. Sturm gets a command tank that fires high explosives. That's how it is. That's how now I remember. In a while. Valentine did get cleared out here. So is still sending people up here to the meat grinder to hold. Panzer IV here lacking a high explosive round does make it not as useful against entrenched infantry as you can see. But it does have 3 machine guns on it. Certainly gonna do something. And the Soviets are running out of men. Well, the F1 is trying to push up down here. The SIS guns are operational again. Just need to get into positions. We'll have armored fists being upgraded here, so we might see some SUs at some point. Just making sure everything was recording still. Because those weird lagging hiccups got me worried for a little bit. With a 57mm here. Probably a little bit of a stopgap, but it does fire pretty fast, so. Howards being set up here by the Storm Tactics. Panzer F1 on the flanking maneuver. We have more Osttruppen called onto the front. So the Germans are just going to send everyone they have that's not German to the front line here. F1 tries to flank with a high explosive round. Misses. Mthis runs back safely. The Soviets do need some kind of armored support. With a heavy mortar arriving. Osttruppen pushing up. Almost got the grain off. Too much fire. Siscon quickly turning around, and they probably realize the F1 is coming. Is that a break there? I don't see anything. That's a weird graphical issue. Well, Siscon has been suppressed. Walk around to cover. That's pretty smart. More Osttruppen pushing up. Man's gonna go egg grenade into the building. That was actually Gebaldeladung, never mind. 1/2 the building is basically gone. Should probably collapse soon. Everyone has to pull out before the SIS guns can open fire. Maybe more gonna set up. The town is still firmly in German hands here. Not been a lot of action in here yet. F1 is going very assault heavy here. Oh, they're trying to destroy the building, I think. Or the shock troopers. Oh, he is trying to destroy the building. Looks like he just refused to collapse. There it goes. Northern flank, the Soviets still lacking in armored vehicles. Double howitzer now. The Storm Tactics are going really heavy on the artillery support. They have the munitions to keep that going. Once they start firing. Especially with the lack of ground troops. But they are going to start shilling the Soviet positions down here. Yep, here comes the howitzers. With that, the Ostdivision is doing an assault. Air grenade on the Maxim that's been pinned. Kills the Maxim. Howitzer shells landing widely. Oh, right at the assist there, but the crew somehow survived. The Soviets need to do a push up here now. You have some tank destroyer guards creeping up, which can sneak up to a tank and do some big damage. Probably order them to hold fire though. Might reveal themselves accidentally if they stand still. Yeah, like that, they've kind of been spotted. That's also a little quality of life feature I like in Combat Appears 3. Stealth units will not attack stuff they cannot deal with. Like, stealth units will not auto-attack a tank. Will not waste their ammo, basically. Gebalderladung there, I think. Yeah, that's a Gebalderladung. This is just you bundle a bunch of German grades together into one big bundle. You do have an SU-85 arriving here. That could certainly deal with the Panzer IV. There's some Panzer Grenadiers on the field, the 2nd SS. You can put an MT-42 and some Gewehr 43s. You have a T-34 Boiler Panzer, so all day Ostrup are getting a lot of their equipment out. Let's capture the Russian equipment. There's a desperate defense here that is somewhat working out for the Germans, mostly because the Soviet armor has not really been that forthcoming. You see the 5 times sit up here. That's Foster spotted it. Doesn't penetrate. Oh, one more shot and that might be a problem. Yeah, there it goes. Straight through the tank. It's actually recoverable, the crew just died. The Germans allowed to be recovered is the question. You know, the Ostrup division keeps attacking down here, using the Boiler Panzers to their advantage, which fires high explosive rounds and then armor piercing, so it's very good. It's a very good assault vehicle for assaulting infantry positions. And since the Soviets are lacking in armor down here, it's actually a pretty good choice. Ooh, high explosive down to half track. Ooh. I think this 40 HQ is probably lost. I thought he cannot get close enough for the anti-tank rates. That was trying to grab the Mthis again. Need to get a shot off. And they have issues loading it. And they're just under too much fire. No penetration. And another Boiler Panzer assaulting. Joshua was trying to get close here, but they don't have any AT equipment, they only have satchel charges. Meanwhile, the other Boiler Panzer pushes up. There's a lack of armor here, which is really showing. And the Ost division wants to take advantage of it. And the Soviets just need to do a full retreat here. They've lost this flank. And these Boiler Panzers really saved the Germans in this flank. Alongside the howitzer support. Not looking good here for the Germans. They also lost the SU-85. That's not good either. Germans certainly feel like they have the upper hand. Are they just gonna go for the base? And more Ostrup also being called in. You're gonna see full take up here for the shock army. They might be going for the IS-2. There'll certainly be something. The Roman tactics just remain stuck in, waiting for another Panzer IV to arrive.
We have a DP-28. Give us a target.
More guards are arriving as well. Double MGs to the squads, MG-30 and MG-42. That's a lot of firepower. And a good position too. And the Soviets do have light cover, which is not going to last that long under all that firepower. We have another squad coming up. And when I see that MG-30 is pretty useful. As you can see, it's just another machine gun to have. And having machine guns is pretty good. Especially German-made ones. Soviets realize they can't really fight there yet. Ost division is just staking in. Grabbing all the equipment, setting up an 88. Well, that'll certainly stop any IS-2 from trying anything. They're just remounting their forces again. We have another SU-85 coming out. All are just firing a few shells. The battle has gone somewhat silent at the moment. Quieted down. Both sides are trying to reassess what to do. Germans do have the artillery support here. I see the new target. 88 is set up nice and firmly here. However, it has no cover, it's out in the open road.
Do you need something?
Or Maximus being called in as well.
Awaiting command.
I continues up here with just a few shelling. We also have a recon team arriving here for the Soviet Union.
25 tank destroyer ready.
Here's another H-55.
You want a sniper?
The bullets are fired down here, but it's not that much. And now the Soviets also know there's an 88. It won't cover because you put it out in the open. There's no cover here. You need to have some kind of cover for it to camo. Putting an 88 on the open road. Of course it's not gonna get ammoed. I'm gonna try and satchel charge it. And they succeed. Laying out, but they can still me-man it. Now it's now firing up here, which is probably not the juiciest targets, but it's something. They just need to stop that 88 from being recruited entirely. Because then the H-85 could get to work. E-54 is advancing. H-85 is waiting in ambush here. But she doesn't have sight. It has been recruited. The strikes are continuously happening up here. Layers continuously being fired as well, so the Soviets know what the Germans are doing in that part of the map. Soviets are having issues of figuring out what to do next, I think. But I definitely think Theo is waiting up for that IS-2. Feels that way. Panzerjäger's on the hunt for this issue. I suppose from the church. But it exposed it to a flank here. Panzer does not destroy it, but almost did. Or is this still landing shots? This poor little farm.
Engineer standing by. AT gun here. I need a medic.
Recon teams are arriving as well. Soviets are trying to figure out what to do from here. So Germans just keep getting more and more Osttruppen here and digging in. Lots of units.
Panzer IV ready.
More Panzer IV is also being manned up. So the Germans have some proper armor support coming in now to try and push back the Soviets with a little counterattack.
MG-42 mounted and ready. What do you need? Ready for orders.
And it's quieted down again. You hear the ambient music. The few shots have started to be fired, but it's probably not enough. Never mind. That's a thing I do miss from Company of Heroes 2 and Company of Heroes 3. The music is not ambient in Company of Heroes 3. Well, not in the same way. It's kind of sad. Company of Heroes 2 had such good music. Company of Heroes 3 is a letdown in so many ways, I will admit. Hopefully they can make it better, but they really have to work hard for it, or else it's just gonna end up not being as successful as Company of Heroes 2. So honestly, Company of Heroes 2 is great. Like, that is an amazing game they've made. So it was more moddable. Grenade there in the church. Oh, it cleared out the MG team. That's a good grenade. Goes to dug a new defensive line, but will it be enough? Here comes the Panzer. Explosive rounds loaded. Remember to layer your scissors. Don't bring them too close. They do get a debuff if they're too close to each other. Yeah, it says too close to another 80 gun. You should generally not have your 80 guns too close to each other. Yeah, they were still way too close. You want to have them at least 15 meters apart. That way they can be most optimal. And efficient. Coming them up will just make them easier to hit. We do see an IS-2 being prepared. This gun needs to work quick. Oh, no hit. Having issues killing these Panzers. Good shot there, mobility lost, so that thing is going to be mobilized here shortly. There goes his tracks, but here comes the Panzer Force! Panzer Division doing a Blitz assault! Blitzkrieg! Full on Blitzkrieg here! AT grenade there. IS-2 is on the field. I think this might be enough to break the Soviets unless this IS-2 turns it around. It is a very dangerous tank. That was just an explosive round, but still does a lot of damage. Well, the Panzer taken out here by the ASU. It's like I'm able to cover the Soviet tanks. Most of them did get pinned there. Still no real assaulting up there though. One of Panzer did get fully destroyed, so it couldn't be recovered. Panzer Force will be drawing to repair. But a Blitz assault certainly did give the Germans a little bit of ground. The IS-2 is definitely going to have a very hard time here with the 88 around. Cannot get very close at all. Oh, this is risky. Yeah, they already turning the 88. But IS-2 backs off. Ooh, it's going to be in range. Yep, they can still start firing if they can see it. There we go, now I can take a fire. Yeah, and almost destroyed in one shot. This is a pretty big gun after all. More SU-85s are arriving. That's a lot of Panzer Force. Just need to get them all repaired. And then they can overrun a position. A few mines would probably stop that entirely. I don't think the Soviets have the liberty to prepare for that. At least it doesn't feel like that from their side of view, probably. More Soviet forces are arriving, though. We need to push up the offensive somehow. German counterattack is soon gonna begin. That's gonna be 6 fully armed. No, that's 6. 5 fully armed and ready Panzer 48s. Ready to blitz through the front line. Certain positions is just slowly being softened by artillery strikes. But another truck arriving here to help reinforce. Shock troopers nearby. Throwing a grenade there, that's probably a big grenade. Ah, it was not that big. MT-34 now equipped here on the Ostruppen. They're getting a little bit better equipment to hold the line with. Probably Germans realizing these Ostruppen are actually holding the line against the Soviets. Not just really delaying, they are full on holding them here. Guys, two gonna try to flank. Risky, but could work. Panzer Force should be ready here to strike. 88 is turning. The Fonzvik are trying to assault in here, but there's a storm, not storm juice, Panzer Grenadiers inside the building here with an MD-42. 88 just needs sight on this IS-2. IS-2 needs to be very careful where it positions. Well, 88 could get a shot here soon. Half-Cloud being called in. Service needs some more artillery support though. They do have that heavy mortar. It looks like it's remaining in counter barrage mode, which is probably not that efficient at the moment. It's moving up close. The building rubble is for some reason covering it though, but that's because it's coming here too. Yeah, it also blocks that high explosive round, as you can see. So as to get a little bit more ground there to work with. Panzer IV still waiting around. 6 Panzer IVs now, that's a lot of Panzer IV. Artillery strikes hitting up here, force the Soviets back again. We have an airdrop coming in here with some supplies for the Osttruppen. Another 88 is all set up. Double 88s down here now. MT-34 and a Pack 40 airdropped in. Panzer Force on the roll. So they're going to overrun the south. Those of them held on long enough for the Panzer forces to advance. That's a lot of Panzer Force. Driving forwards here, and then they're probably going to turn around and assault. So we have Su-85s, but will it be enough? Even with the IS-2. And the Panzer Force lining up. All lined up and ready to move. Osttruppen are being ready to screen. Oh, IS-2 is moving up. Oh, high explosive was shot there. 88 cannot hit it here though. Oh, Alpha draw. Oh, that's not good. Alpha disconnected. This is up to Theo now. It's not gonna work with all these Panzer IVs coming. Yeah, because now the Su-85 is not gonna coordinate. A little bit of an unfortunate end, but it is a cool looking one. It's the Panzer Force shot, but they do take losses as they get close to the infantry. Take heavy damage anyway. Oh, main gun destroyed on the IS! But its armor was still holding up. The IS is basically gone, so this fight is basically over now. Yeah, it's over. Well fought though, I'd say. Well fought. As sad about is Skitari dropping. I'm sad about that. I think with those Su-85s stuck around, they could probably have held. Well, that was a good match. I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you next time, everyone. Bye bye.